Good morning. Today is March 1. I'm in Los Angeles on my way to Israel tomorrow. Tonight I'm doing a book signing in Los Angeles on, of course, guess what? You Are the Universe, Discovering Your Cosmic Self. The discussions are here on discoveringyourcosmicself.com. And today's question posed by Malik is, why is cosmic consciousness, God, always associated with qualities like love, compassion, joy, equanimity, mercy, and not with negative emotions or negative qualities like fear, hostility, anger, and other negative qualities, guilt, shame, depression, etc. The question is posed by Malik, and so let's try our best to understand this. First of all, of course, God is a loaded word. As soon as you say God, then people conceptualize God as usually a person. But to conceptualize God or consciousness is to limit it. So God cannot be conceptualized or imagined, because all those would be limitations to infinite consciousness or infinite being. So here is how to understand cosmic consciousness from the non-dual traditions. There are only three ways of looking at reality. One is it's all physical. That poses a problem. How does physical matter produce thought, feelings, images, intentions, intuition, creativity, imagination, perception, on and on? How does physical matter produce experience? That's called the hard problem, and it's unanswerable. Okay, so then that leaves a dualistic worldview, which says mind and consciousness and matter are two different realms. So mind and consciousness is an ethereal realm, non-physical, and then matter is a physical realm, including the matter that we call our body. That also poses a problem, because then it cannot explain how the two interact. So if I lift my arm, that starts with a thought, which is immaterial, and then becomes a physical activity, which is at the level of matter. How does that happen? So that can't be explained either. Dualism doesn't work. Moreover, it violates the laws of conservation of energy. So where does the energy come to convert thought, which is immaterial and therefore without any energy according to E is equal to mc squared? How does that create the energy required to move my hands or for me to speak? So dualism doesn't work. The first step in any activity, whether it's speech or muscular movement or any other voluntary activity, it's unexplainable. So is the last step in the act of perception. How do photons going to the brain through electrochemical energies create the experience of a three-dimensional world? Okay, so dualism doesn't work. That leaves only one thing left, which is called monism, which is non-dual and immaterial, which means the essence of everything is pure awareness or pure consciousness or pure potentiality. The essence, the ground state of existence is being or awareness. So now to address Malik's question. Malik's question is Why do we think of God or cosmic consciousness always, all these wonderful qualities of love, compassion, joy, equanimity, creativity, and not in terms of negativity, fear, anger, hostility, guilt, shame, depression, violence? Why do we do that? Okay, so let's first go through what we might call the mechanics of creation. So think of the ground state of all existence as pure awareness, pure awareness, pure awareness, or pure consciousness. So pure awareness is not aware of anything, it's only the potential for experience. Pure consciousness is not conscious of anything, it's only the potential for experience. So consciousness as the ground state has to become conscious in order to have experience. Awareness as the ground state has to become aware to have any experience. Okay, because as pure awareness, as pure consciousness, it's just the potential for experience. It's possibilities of experience. It's the immeasurable potential for all experience, past, present, and future. Okay, so here we are. Awareness is pure. Now, awareness, in order to be aware, has to modify itself into activities of awareness. And these activities of awareness are sensing, imagination, feeling, and thought. By sensing, I mean all the sense perceptions. So one mode of sensing would be hearing. So awareness becomes aware as hearing through the experience of sound. Awareness becomes aware of form as the experience of seeing. Awareness becomes aware of texture as the experience of touching. Awareness becomes aware of fragrance as the experience of smelling. Awareness becomes aware of, you might say, taste in the experience of tasting. Awareness becomes aware of its imagination by experiencing imaging. Awareness becomes aware of the interpretation of experience as the activity of thinking. So these are activities of becoming aware. Okay, activities: sensing, imaging, feeling, thinking. Because without these activities, there would be no experience. Okay, so now there is experience happening. If the ground state is only awareness, then what is awareness experiencing? Awareness is experiencing itself as both subject, object, and the interaction between subject and object. So awareness is experiencing itself as seer, seeing in the process of scenery, as observer, observing, and the object observed, all within itself. But now, because of this differentiation into three aspects of itself, there's now the experience of me and other. There's the experience of me and other. And so, me and the book. But in reality, the experience is just seeing, and that which is being experienced is only form, and the rest is interpretation. But in a way, I, the original I, is experiencing itself as this body-mind, seeing this expression of seeing, which is form. Now this can be applied to any of the senses. Okay, not just form, but texture, taste, smell, sound, and then a feeling for it, a feeling for it. I love this book, I wrote it. Okay, so, and then of course, I can imagine this experience later as well. This is the nature of all experience. Now, when that experience happens in a way that feels connected to the object of experience, we call that beauty. When that experience occurs in a way that we feel connected to another person or another sentient being, that experience is called love. Okay, seeing yourself in the other is love. Seeing yourself in an object of perception is beauty. Now, of course, the opposite can happen. If you feel disconnected from the object of your perception, or if you feel fear from the object of your perception, or if you feel that the other is not only not yourself, but a predator, even though in a way it's a differentiated expression of the one awareness, then there is fear, there is anxiety, there's anger, there's hostility, there's guilt, there's shame, there's depression. It's all whether you feel connected to the source or feel disconnected to the source. So when we are experiencing connected, then the feelings are called divine. When we are feeling disconnected, then the feelings are called diabolical. So in a sense, Malik is right. We kind of project onto the infinite being only those qualities that we desire and not the qualities that we don't desire. And that is fair enough, because that's how we feel connected to our source, which is all possibilities. Now, one thing to remember is that the play of consciousness, of course, always involves predator and prey, always involves divine and diabolical, always involves what you might in human terms call sinner and saint, always involves contrast. Why? Because without contrast there would be no experience. You can't have experience without up and down, without hot and cold, without pleasure and pain, without joy and sorrow, without the birth of an experience and the death of the experience. So experience by its very nature is contrast. It's not flat. It's a discontinuity. So it's on, it's off. If I put my hand here and I leave it there after a while, I won't feel it. I'll only feel it when I start to move it. Same thing with every experience. It occurs through contrast. And consciousness being infinite leaves room for infinite possibilities. Infinite possibilities. So when we go to nature, we see, everything consumes everything else in order to sustain itself. So in fact, if you read the Rig Veda and other texts, say consciousness is constantly eating itself to nourish itself. The eater and the eaten, the predator and the victim, are actually the same awareness in different expressions. So again, don't think of this as only creativity, only evolution, because then if that was all there was, the universe would rapidly expand and burn itself into the heat death of absolute zero. If on the other hand there was only entropy and disorder and chaos, then the universe would implode on itself and disappear into a black hole. I'm just using metaphors. So there's the play of opposites. Okay, that play of opposites creates experience. that we call life. But ultimately, it's only awareness interacting with its own self, subject, object, observer, observed, seer, scenery, beloved and lover, predator and prey, and on and on. So, as a human being, you have to ask yourself, what do I want? And if your desire is to connect with the source, then you want to experience beauty and love and joy and compassion and equanimity. On the other hand, if you feel disconnected, you will experience all the other emotions, being disconnected and feeling separate, not differentiated but separate. Remember, differentiation is not separation. My eyes, my ears, my fingernails, my hands, my whole body is seemingly of different tissues and organs, but they're all differentiated from the one cell that I was at the moment of conception. So the universe is the differentiated expression of one consciousness, one awareness, and it expresses itself as maximum diversity, infinite diversity. And all is part of the play of consciousness. You, as an individual, have to choose which impulse you want to favor. The impulse of truth, goodness, beauty, harmony, love, compassion, joy, equanimity, or the impulse of destruction and anger and hostility, the impulse of pleasure or the impulse of pain. That choice is yours as a human being by making conscious choices. What about all the other sentient beings? Well, they're just following their instinct for survival as both predator and prey. So I hope this has begun to answer your question. By the way, I'm very grateful to all of you, Rafe ALS and 22 others who just shared your video. I really appreciate this, all of you who are sharing this information with others, who are giving me feedback. I'm very, very, very grateful to you for being part of this forum, for engaging in this forum. Yes. So, oh, by the way, just somebody said, here is Bodhi Tree. Deepak, we are very much looking forward to seeing you this evening at Skirball Center in LA. Love and gratitude from Bodhi Tree. I offer my gratitude to Bodhi Tree for organizing this book event this evening. I have a few guests coming also, dear Bodhi Tree, so I'll let you know their names. But anyone in Los Angeles, please note, I will be at the Bodhi Tree book signing tonight at the Skirball Center in LA. You can find it on the internet or just go to bodhitree.com/Deepak Chopra and you'll be able to find all the tickets. So I am very grateful for all of you who participate every day, who share these videos with others, who actually come to our website discovering yourcosmicself.com and who are engaging in conversation on reading the book. You are the universe, discovering your cosmic self and why it matters. Lauren Dunbar says, have a blessed and beautiful day, Lauren, to you and for everyone else. Julie says, come to Canberra, Australia. One of these days I will, Julie, for sure. Sumit Banerjee says, would love to invite you to come to Arizona to promote your book at our yoga studio. I will be in Arizona for the Consciousness and Science Conference next year for sure, And so maybe I'll see you there. What time again? Tonight at the Skirball Center in Los Angeles is 7:30 p.m. That's Mindy, just Mindy asking the question. Okay, Liliana Ramirez Jimenez and 27 others just shared your video. Liliana Ramirez Jimenez, thank you so much, and everybody else who's doing that, thank you. The more we expand awareness, the more together we can hope to move in the direction of a more peaceful, just, sustainable, healthier and happier world. Okay, Stacy Pogue says, thank you for being here. Thank you, Stacy, for being here. Joanne Cooper, my friend, thanks for always being there every day. Anshu Gupta, Mr. Chopra, individual emails, do you respond? I try my best, but you send questions here on Discovering Your Cosmic Self, and I'll do my best to respond to you, Anshu. Okay. John Diamata says, the book is life-changing. Namaste. Well, thanks, John. I did write this book with the intention of having everyone understand that what we call reality is subject to revision. Bill Newton says, love you from Dunedin, Florida. Love you too, Bill. Arzu Tanzal, come to Turkey. Beautiful name, Arzu. In Urdu, it means desire. I will. I've been to Turkey before, Arzu. Hope to come again. Okay. Mindy says, I love the book, You Are the Universe. Go out and get it now. Let's share these videos with each other. Let's share these discussions with each other. Let's come to the site and engage with each other. The book, of course, is You Are the Universe, Discovering Your Cosmic Self. But let's keep talking. Let's keep engaging in this activity to expand awareness. Okay, thank you. See you soon. Tomorrow I'm going to Israel, but I'll post before I go. Take care. Love you very much.